How far could Goku get in Lobotomy Corporation? Could he solo every single abnormality, or are there some that could actually challenge even him? In this video, we're going to break it all down. Here's how the format's going to work. I'll be going through the abnormalities on their risk levels. That means I'll pick the toughest abnormalities from each tier and pit them against Goku one by one. Then, we'll see whether Goku could beat them or not. Let's start with Zain abnormalities. When it comes to ones that might actually be able to do something against Goku, the first that come to mind are Army in Black and the Button. I'll begin with Army in Black. Army in Black only becomes dangerous after it breaches, when 4th Aleph class soldiers appear and start moving toward the center of their departments. If they reach the main room, they explode, dealing white damage across the area and lowering other abnormalities' Clifford counters. Let's say all 4 of them actually make it to the main rooms and explode at the exact same time. Even in that scenario, the combined damage wouldn't phase Goku in the slightest. He's tanked planet-destroying attacks before. This is nothing in comparison. He would never panic, so the mind control effects don't apply. And the soldiers, with their slow speed and relatively low HP, Goku could wipe them out instantly, long before they explode. In short, Army in Black doesn't stand a chance. Now here's an idea that just came to mind. We all know how strong Goku is, so later in the video I'm going to take the abnormalities that got stomped by him and run them back. But this time, Goku's going to be armless, legless, blind, thief, not allowed to clone himself, and he can't use Triple S with his mouth either. Next up is DTM. This abnormality doesn't engage in a normal fight. Instead, it's built entirely around punishment through interaction. Simply trying to work with it, open its details, or even pressing its button leads to instant catastrophic effects, like wiping out the entire facility or causing a total panic. If you press the button 5 times, it outright crashes the game. Now let's talk Goku. Physically, he would have no problem. He could destroy the entire room before the abnormality even reacts. But this fight isn't physical. It's a test of awareness, restraint, and understanding how the world around you works. And Goku, as powerful as he is, isn't exactly the most cautious when it comes to weird buttons. He's been shown to act on instinct and curiosity more than strategy when things look harmless. If he pushes the button without knowing the consequences, he might trigger a full reset scenario, something even he might not walk away from unscathed. So, can Goku win? If he knows the rules, yes. But if not, and he presses that button, the abnormality technically wins by forcing a loose through game mechanics, not strength. Before we move on to the He abnormalities, let's take a quick look at whether Fairy Festival stands any chance against Goku. Now, this abnormality does have an instant kill effect. Let's assume it actually tries to use that effect on Goku. Nothing happens. Goku takes 0 damage. Even crippled Goku wouldn't be affected. Why? Because the agents that Fairy Festival can instantly kill are, at best, X-level agents. In an interview, Kim Ji-hoon stated that X agents are roughly equivalent to claws in terms of power and durability. So, if we take that at face value, it means Fairy Festival's instant kill ability only works on beings with durability up to multi-city block level. That's nowhere near enough to harm Goku, not even close. Now let's talk about Meat Lantern. This abnormality hides underground and attacks anyone who walks over it, dealing a big burst of red damage, enough to instantly kill most agents in Lobotomy Corporation. But here's the thing, that kind of trap only works on people who can't sense danger. Goku has fought many opponents who try to catch him off guard. He can sense energy, detect hidden enemies, and react instantly to surprise attacks. Even if he didn't know what Meat Lantern was at first, he would still pick up on his presence. Once he notices something's wrong, he's not going to just walk into the trap. He'll react, dodge, or destroy it before it gets the chance to do anything. And with only 300 HP, Meat Lantern is extremely fragile by Dragon Ball standards. Even a small ki blast would completely destroy it. So in this case, Goku definitely wins. Even if Goku had no arms, no legs, was blind, he would still win. This abnormality's HP is just way too low. If Meat Lantern managed to bite Goku, It would probably be destroyed the moment its jaws touched him. Next up is Spider-Bot, a giant spider-like abnormality that hides in the shadows and cocoons anyone with weak mental resistance. Her ability activates when someone with low prudence finishes working with her or does an insight work. That's when she drops from the ceiling and wraps them up like a snack. Instant death, at least for regular employees. But Goku isn't just some random agent walking into the room clueless. Goku's instincts are razor sharp. He's trained to sense danger, react faster than the eye can see, and dodge attacks that come at light speed. The moment Spider-Bot twitches from the ceiling, even before she fully descends, Goku would already be looking up with a serious face, ready to act. There is no slow reaction, no hesitation. He spots her, charges a blast, and it's over before she even gets to cocoon anything. At the end of the day, Spider-Bot meets the same fate as Meat Lantern, sniped before her trap can even spring. Now it's time to find out if crippled Goku can beat Spider-Bot. Unlike Meat Lantern, Spider-Bot doesn't bite, it cocoons its target in webs. So this time, crippled Goku might actually lose. In this fight, Schadenfreude's biggest weapon isn't its drills, saws, or even its breach form. It's the way it reacts to being looked at. For normal employees, making direct eye contact with it is a death sentence. Even partially seeing its form can trigger an aggressive response. But for Goku, that's not really a problem. Why? First, if we go with crippled Goku, he is completely immune to his main trigger from the start. He wouldn't even be able to see the abnormality, so it would never get that aggression spike that happens when an agent looks at it. Second, Schadenfreude only has 800 HP, which for Goku is basically one flick. Even if we give it the benefit of the doubt and let it breach with all its drills and saw blades out, its movement speed is just average, meaning Goku would outspeed it instantly. And even if it did manage to get an attack off, its threat damage output is laughable against someone with Goku's durability. Now here's the thing, the abnormality also completely freezes when it's off screen. This might work against human employees, but for someone like Goku who can move faster than perception, that freeze mechanic becomes a death sentence. Goku could blink out of its vision range, reappear right next to it, and end the fight before it even finishes its attack animation. If Goku were the one facing the Snow Queen, the duel would be over before it even began. The moment she tries to strike the ground with her sword to create the ice shard, Goku could instantly react, moving so fast that the animation of her ability would look frozen in time. Even if she managed to tag him with the ice shard, her follow-up freeze ability wouldn't matter. Ki energy in Dragon Ball can regulate body temperature and resist environmental hazards, meaning the freezing effect simply wouldn't work on him. So what about crippled Goku against the Snow Queen? Like I mentioned before, ice doesn't work against Goku's ki at all. Just by existing, he completely shuts down her entire gimmick. The winner, once again, is Goku. Alright, so how would Goku fare against the magical girls? Let's start with the King of Greed. On paper, she is terrifying. 1500 HP, massive red damage that can one-shot almost anything in the facility, and the ability to teleport around like a horror movie monster. But the problem is, she's slow. Goku's speed is so far beyond her it's almost comical. Her entire attack relies on trapping opponents in her mouth, but against someone who can blink from one end of a hallway to the other before she even finishes opening her jaw, that's useless. She wouldn't even get the chance to lunge before Goku smashes the golden egg and ends the fight. And even crippled Goku could beat her. King of Greed needs to physically catch her target, but Goku's ki alone could shatter the golden egg. Even at his weakest, she wouldn't stand a chance. Next, we've got the Queen of Hatred. Now she is trickier, since she's got ranged attacks, teleportation, healing, and a massive laser that can sweep across the facility. Against normal agents, she's easily one of the most dangerous abnormalities in the game. But against Goku, that healing factor doesn't matter if he takes her out before she can even start charging her beam. Remember, Goku's fought enemies who shoot planet-busting lasers on the regular. Dodging or tanking hers would be nothing new. And while she can teleport and cause explosions, Goku can sense energy, meaning he would track her instantly no matter where she jumps. She's powerful, but nowhere near fast or destructive enough to keep up with him. Now let's move on to the Knight of Despair. The main thing about this abnormality is pale damage, which, according to the game's art book, can be translated directly as soul damage. But here's the thing, this abnormality is really slow. That means she would get one shot by Goku before she could even do anything. Now you might ask, does she stand a chance against crippled Goku? Well, if we assume Goku can't use his ki at all, then there is a possibility the Night of Despair's pale damage could defeat him. Now it's time for Nothing There. And of course, I'm talking about its final form, the third one. This abnormality is extremely resistant to red damage in the game. But instead of just looking at the gameplay, let's take a reference from the Lobotomy Corporation art book. Red damage equals physical damage, we already know that. And according to the art book, this abnormality doesn't take physical damage at all. So what does that mean? Goku can still win, but not just with punches or kicks. To beat it, Goku would need to use a Ki Blast or a Kamehameha. On the other hand, in his crippled form where he can't use Ki, Goku would most likely lose. But if he does use Ki, like firing a Ki Blast from his mouth, then Goku definitely wins. Alright, let's talk about the Mountain of Smiling Bodies, or MOSB. This abnormality grows stronger the more people it eats, multiplying and spreading pieces of itself everywhere. So let's crank it up. Imagine this abnormality has already devoured countless victims and the whole area is flooded with its parts. Even then, Goku wipes the floor with it. No matter how many bodies it stacks, Goku's power is so far beyond that he would destroy everything in just seconds. But crippled Goku is a different story. Without Ki, he'd have little chance of winning. With Ki though, the fight's over instantly. Now let's talk about Apocalypse Bird. This thing isn't like the other abnormalities. Apocalypse Bird is completely immune to damage. It doesn't matter if Goku fires off a Kamehameha or punches with planet-busting force, none of it would land. The only way to beat it is by destroying the 3 eggs hidden across the facility. Here is where it gets interesting. Normal agents would be helpless, but Goku, with his insane battle instincts, he could probably sense the energy coming from those eggs right away. That means he could track them down and destroy them before the bird gets out of control. But make no mistake, this wouldn't be some instant one-shot like the others. Apocalypse Bird could actually stall Goku, teleporting around and throwing out massive attacks while he is busy hunting the eggs. It's one of the only abnormalities that could force Goku into a real fight instead of being instantly steamrolled. Now here's something I really need to bring up. I noticed a bit of a dilemma when it comes to Goku's resistance to mind control. In Dragon Ball, we never actually see him show a direct resistance to it. The only time mind control comes up, it only works on people who already have evil in their hearts. So here's the question. Could the abnormalities from Lobotomy Corporation actually beat Goku with mind control? If we go by the game's art book, the explanation for the prudence that says that resistance to mind control comes from a person's willpower. And if there is one thing Goku is known for, it's an unbreakable will. That means Goku is both physically and mentally resilient against the abnormalities. And as a result, we can safely say that unless he presses that big red button, they don't stand a chance against him.